I just found one of the most underrated places in Patagonia, and somehow almost no one talks about it. This is Los Alerces National Park near Trevelin, and it's honestly insane. We're talking glaciers, bright blue lakes, and a full-on boat mission through the mountains. And then you'll walk straight into a forest with trees that are over 2,000 years old. These things were here basically before everything. You can actually walk right through it, get up close, and it doesn't feel like a tourist trap at all. It still feels wild. This whole place just hits different. It's quiet, it's raw, and it actually feels like you discovered something. And today, we're going all in. We just started the excursion and we are now walking towards the port to go on the boat and continue our journey. But where we are walking right now is so incredibly stunning. The river next to us is so crystal clear. It's too cold to swim in, unfortunately, at the moment, but wow, so beautiful. Crazy. Patagonia is actually known for how much water it has, and especially today you can really see why. This whole region is shaped by it. Glaciers in the mountains slowly melt into these lakes, and those lakes turn into rivers that run for hundreds of kilometers. And most of this you can't even reach by road. The only way to get here is by boat. And even on this beautiful boat ride, we got a glimpse at the Torrecillas Glacier, one of the few glaciers you can actually see up close in this part of Patagonia. And it's the source of everything around us right now. So it's not just nice to look at, it's all connected. So we got off the boat and we officially made it to one of the oldest forests in the whole world. There are a lot of Alerces trees here and we just saw one that is 1,800 years old. We're in the western part of the national park and we are super close to the border with Chile. And this park has no inhabitants. It is completely remote. There are no people living here, and the only sign of humans is the path that they made for us to walk. And it literally feels like we are in Jurassic Park. Look at this. The trees are insanely old, the forest is insanely old, and we get to walk around here now. Scientists figure out how old these trees are by looking at the tree rings. Every year a tree adds a new ring inside the trunk. So by counting them, you can tell exactly how old it is. But they can actually tell a lot more than that. Things like climate, rainfall, droughts, or fires. It's all recorded in these rings. So these trees aren't just old, they're basically living records of everything that's happened here. So this one here, this small one that you can see, this Alerce, is only 30 years old. So if you compare it to all the huge ones that we are seeing, you get a realization of how old these trees and this forest actually is. Wow. I used to have this moment every single time when I landed somewhere new. You get off the plane and you realize you have absolutely no idea how to get internet. There's no signal, there's no Uber, there's no Google Maps, just vibes and a little bit of stress. And I feel like if you travel a lot, you know exactly what I mean, because internet nowadays is so crucial for a traveler. So this is why I have been using Saily for such a long time. It's an eSIM app, so you don't have to deal with physical SIM cards anymore. You just download the app, you choose your country, you install it once, and you're basically set for all of your trips. What I love most is that it just works the second I land. Like, I turn off the airplane mode and I'm already online. No lines at the airport, no awkward conversations, and no getting overcharged. Especially on a trip like this, everything moves super fast and you need to have internet to make sure that you're going the right direction, that you have access to Google Maps, and that you can WhatsApp people if you need to. They also have options if you're traveling through multiple countries, which I do all the time, and the app tells you when you're running low on data, so you don't suddenly end up offline in the middle of nowhere. And believe me, that's something you really don't want. And there's even built-in security features, which is honestly really nice when you're constantly connecting to new networks. So if you travel a few times a year, this will just make your life so much easier. You can get 15% off with my code Gypsy and Sneakers, or you can scan this QR code as well. And for now, let's go back to the video. What is also really interesting, what we just learned, is that here, all these fallen trees, it can take up to 500 years for them to dissolve, which is so incredibly long because it's not hot here, it's actually like quite cold. And that is why they stay perfectly preserved for a really long time. And look where we are walking. It literally feels like true fairy tale land, as if we stepped back in time. So incredible. Look at this. Wow, my God. We are about to arrive at the lake, and this view is just incredible. Wow. This is crazy. Look how fast and how much water this is. Wow. We're now walking alongside Rio Cisna. It's literally one of the most beautiful rivers I've ever seen, with the huge mountains in the back. The river is very fast. I'm not sure if it would be safe for swimming, but look at where we are even walking with all the mountains. Here you can see the river. There are snow-peaked mountains in the back, and the sun is out, and it's just so incredibly stunning. Wow, look at that. And actually, the big reason why we are here is that we are on our way to see the very oldest tree here. I'm really curious. I still don't know how old this tree exactly is, but that is why we are doing this incredible walk. But nevertheless, this walk through this insanely old forest is 10 out of 10 and so beautiful. But for now, let's go and see some really old tree. Wow, so this tree is 2,600 years old. And what's really interesting is that here you can actually see that in these 2,600 years, all of this happens. You can see times from Egypt, you can see how they made the big wall in China in all of these years. And then all of this happened during the time that this tree is alive. And that is just insanely crazy to think. And here you can see that most of these trees have a height around 50 meters and they can get around 3,600 years, which is so incredible to think about. And this one is really special because it is so huge and really old. And I love that they call it Del Abuelo, which means grandfather. So the Alerce trees are the best wood for construction, and actually the oldest tree has been found in Chile, but they have been cutting down these trees for 300 years, so there are almost no old trees above 1,000 years old left in Chile. But here they are, because after 30 years they stopped cutting all of these trees. So that's why in Argentina, and especially here, we can find so many old ones, and that makes it really, really special that they preserved it so well. And right now I'm gonna go back on the boat. And just like that, we made it back to where we started. This was so beautiful, but the party's not over yet. We're gonna move on to the next spot. We made a quick stop at Lago Futalauken, and it's so incredibly pretty. I can't believe this place. Look at the water. It almost feels like we're at an ocean because it's so huge, but look at how crystal clear this place is. I am in love. And then we have the mountains in the back with the snow. The sun is slowly going down, so we're just gonna enjoy ourselves here a little bit. I'm in love. And just like that, we made it back home. This day has been so incredibly special. It has been so amazing to see these trees up and close and to feel the true power of nature. I truly hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed today. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to like and subscribe, because there are more Patagonia videos coming and you don't want to miss those, believe me. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!